A lot of it had to do with the fact that I do have so much background with this and so much training, if you will, that the Army has given us. They've spent so much time making sure everyone understands the importance of talking to their soldiers and understanding what they're going through, training them on suicide prevention. So if someone who not only has received the training, but has given the training and helped develop it and work it through all the system, if I could miss it, then I can't even imagine what other people are going through who also have missed it. So I just think it's important to tell the story. Hindsight is truly 20/20. You look back and you can pick up on things that say, hey, that might have fit in this box. That might have met that criteria. But at the moment, in the moment, when you're living your life, nothing seems that important or that, I guess, that devastating that would make someone say, it's enough, I can't do anymore. We were like any other couple. We fought, we laughed, we cried, we had great vacations, we had difficult car rides, just like anyone else. So to say, was there any one thing that stood out? No, I don't think there was. It's just complete and total chaos. I walked out on my back deck to find him dead. It's a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. You call 911. I want to say I think it was immediately. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember how long it took me to walk away from that and pick up a phone. But it seemed like a split second that my house was full of people, detectives, police officers, medical examiners, photographers taking pictures of every room. They tested my hands for gunshot residue. I mean, just all these things are going on all at once. And the thing that stood out to me the most was, as I'm sitting there and watching all of this happen around me, the one thing that kept going through my head is, the Army told me I was supposed to see this. I was supposed to know this was going to happen. I know what to look for. I know the signs. And I didn't see it. So probably in the 5 to 6 hours it took the police to go through everything and do what it is they had to do, I got to spend that time thinking on what I missed. That was probably, obviously, a very difficult time, but at the same time, a very confusing time. I was devastated, for obvious reasons, but then also devastated for other reasons that aren't quite as obvious, and that being, I didn't see it. So another difficult part is he had children from a previous marriage. And they're all adults, having to contact them. His father, his brothers and sisters were Catholic. The Catholic religion, as growing up, suicide is, a huge no-no. No mass, no burial. Thankfully, the Catholic religion has changed a lot of its outlook, and he was able to have his mass. But these are all things that just pile on as you go, and how do you take care of it? And then add to the fact he's a retired Marine. So we have DFAS and we have TRICARE, and it's just so overwhelming. And again, it's not unlike any other death, with the exception of you're still trying to find answers to things. On top of everything else, you're trying to understand why he would do this, or why anyone would do this for that matter. There are indicators. I just don't know that the average person walks around, every day saying, this guy may be suicidal. Is there a relationship? Is there an employment issue? Is there financial issues? Has he been doing this? Has he been giving stuff away? I mean, again, hindsight being what it is, I saw him in, certain moods where he was off a little bit. That was one thing. After talking to his best friend, he had another piece of it. Talking to his son, he had another piece of it. Siblings, they had a piece of it. These are all people he may have talked to on a daily basis. And if these one-off conversations, they alone really meant nothing. Together, it might have been set up a flag. But the fact that we didn't talk every day, I didn't talk to his best friend, very seldom talked to, you know, his family members, siblings. So unless, you know, you have that immediacy around you at all times, then I don't know that you can. I think the Army's message is a good one. It's one I support 150%, else I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't think it important to be here. I just think it's also important to come back and say, this happens. It happens. And if you didn't see those signs, it's okay, because you probably didn't see all of them or enough of them to be able to have been able to stop that. And it's not your fault. Someone told me as I was going through this, people make a decision to effect a very permanent solution to a temporary problem. Everything in that individual's mind at that moment or at that time frame is surrounded by their pain, by whatever it is they're going through. To this day, I honestly don't know what was going through my husband's mind, what that pain was to the, so, you know, to that extent that would make him do that. I would say if he had taken a step back and thought about his children. His daughter got married the 1st of February, and he didn't walk her down the aisle. She's going to be having children. He won't see his grandchildren. His youngest son is going to be graduating college, and he's not going to see there. There is so much more to a life than that immediate temporary problem, temporary issue that you're having. You know, it's a very, very, very simple saying, this too will pass. And it will. I just don't think when these individuals feel that passionately or feel that emotionally about that subject, I don't think they can see anything past that. And I would just say, try. You know, look for that other thing. If you're single, think about your future wife, whoever she may be. If you are married now, think about what your wife is going to go through. Your children, if you have them, if they're young, growing up, graduating, getting married, having children, their first job, college. Life is so expansive. And this moment in time, just a blip, really, I mean, can be, you can see past it. You can see past it. People ask me about my husband, and they say, what was he like? I said, he was larger than life, and he was bulletproof. And there was no way he was ever going to let anyone see that. He wasn't. He was. He was a Marine. He was a retired Marine. There is no weakness. He's going to make it through. But I would ask someone who's thinking this is the way to go, if you are a soldier and you're in uniform, resiliency doesn't mean you can't say I'm in pain. You can't say I need help. Resiliency is knowing enough that you do need help and that you are in pain and that it's okay. You can talk to whoever it is that makes you feel comfortable. Not best, not, you know, we would hope, obviously, a spouse, a family member, a brother, a sister, a priest, someone in the clergy, maybe your commander, you know, maybe your battle buddy, whoever makes you feel comfortable. But being resilient and understanding this, you don't have to be bulletproof. You can still be bulletproof and understand that you need help. My faith has been extremely helpful in what I'm going through. I don't think I'll ever get over it. I think I will come to grips with it. I will never understand it. I will learn to live with it. I say that, and what's important, and this is very important for survivors of suicide, you have good days and you have bad days. Back starting on November 13th, they were all bad days. And eventually I had a good day. And eventually I have a couple more good days. And you get to the point, and I'm not there yet. I'm not there. The bad days still very much outweigh the good days. But I'm waiting for the good days to start outnumbering the bad days. And hopefully they'll get there. I would say patience. Patience and understanding that you didn't make that decision for that individual. That was their decision to make. No matter what argument you might have had with them, no matter what conversation you had, or the fact that you didn't pick up the phone and call them, or if you hadn't had contact with them for a whole, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You didn't make that choice. Suicide is a very selfish act, and it's an individual act, and it is very individual in the fact that only that person made that decision, and no one's a mind reader. If you're thinking about calling a family member that you haven't talked to, don't think about it, do it. His brothers and sisters, he was one of 9. And I would say probably 7 of them made the comment, I was really thinking about calling him the other day. Call. His children, same thing. You know, I saw Dad on Facebook. I was going to do this. I wish I had. Don't wait. If you want to talk to someone, if you want to go see someone, if there's someone in your life that's important to you that you want to reach out to, do it. Don't wait. Again, I don't know that the Army as an organization, there's not a cure. Okay, this is not like a disease that we're looking for a cure for. This is a mindset. This is an individual issue. It's individual to each person. There are some big indicators. The Army has the right thought process. It wants to be there for its soldiers and the family members, and anyone else that their civilians, anyone that it affects. I think they are. I just don't know that there's one right answer for it. I mean, you may reach someone by walking up to them and say, hey, you look like you're having issues. You haven't done X, Y, or Z, or you've been unemployed for this amount of time, or I know your girlfriend left you, or that may work, but it may not work with the next person. So I would say there's not one size fits all. I would say that they need to ensure resiliency doesn't mean I have to have this tough exterior and that I can't have a crack. Because you can. We all do. All of us do. My husband did. 21 years in the Marine Corps. Again, bulletproof. He had a crack, and he would not tell anyone he had it. That's not what Marines do. And soldiers are not much different. They're the same thing. We are bulletproof. If I say I need help, I'm not resilient. I'm not bulletproof anymore. So I think that's big in their messaging. I hope that I can continue to help soldiers and their families in my day-to-day job, which I absolutely love to do and hope to continue doing that. I hope I come to grips with it, and I hope that I learn to live with it. I've already made the point that I will never understand it. One day at a time. I mean, my goal right now is to finish this, go back, finish out my workday, go back to DC, start the next day there, work on the next project there, be with my friends, be with my family, and one day at a time.